Hello, everybody. I'm back again, and we're going to be playing another halftime show game. And as Josh said, math is involved. But before that, before the math, we're going to talk about that the first game in that series a little bit, because I mean we were talking about it before it ended. It was a little closer than we were expecting. I think we saw a lot of good performances from CLGF. I think Aaron in particular looked pretty good. That play during the first Dragon, I was kind of like jaw dropping for me.
Yeah, I mean, in particular, I felt like Aaron played quite well going up against Lens. Saranok had some really good moments, and NXI started off the game really well, but unfortunately wasn't able to continue snowballing, some of the lead that they'd gotten for themselves.
How much of it do you think is the Blitzcrank pick? Just because I think even though they had a really good mid-jungle duo and something like Galio Kindred, I feel like when you drop that Lem's Respite, there's the one play I know we all remember where you get pulled out of it and things like that. Do you think Duo King was a part of that, or? I
mean, definitely a part, but as impressive as Duo King has played a lot of the series that they've been participating in thus far, I felt like that Blitzcrank could have been one of about half a dozen characters and probably would have had, if not the exact same effect, a very similar effect on the game, just because Duo King played quite well.
I would argue the early game was off the back of that Blitzcrank. Purely the early game. I agree, though, towards the mid game, it really could have been any champ.
Yeah. I mean, Duo King does play a lot of these engaged champs quite well in particular, and I feel like the one moment... Okay, so there are two moments that, only Blitzcrank could have done this. One, hooking Kindred out of their own ultimate, right? There's not a lot of other supports that can do that. The other one was preventing Nautilus, as soon as Nautilus stops to throw out the hook in order to get away, Blitzcrank pulling them back. Those are the two moments where yes, Blitzcrank did this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, what are we thinking? Chances of the 1-1 that Magical is talking about here, could we see a comeback here for CLGF? Magical, you're writing something on the board. And I see we're playing Hangman, the game show before the game show.
The game of math.
Fun Gorin. That's my guess. Let's go. I'm just the GOAT. How does he do it?
I don't know. I don't know how he does it.
Oh, just a mathematical genius, I guess. Thanks, Pete.
I don't know how math was involved there, but
he calculated the risk and he took it.
Oh my god. Okay, well that's the warm up. Definitely some math involved there somehow. But Josh, actually, before we go to the game, I remember you had some middling thoughts about that. What do you think about game 2 before we get to the game?
About game 2? I mean, that was a pretty big overperformance from CLG Faith from what I was actually expecting. So now that Wildcard have seen the game plan coming out from CLG, I don't think it's likely to be able to work again, especially because even when they were trying to make things happen in the bottom lane, remember that it was a big turnaround from Lens and Duo King in the first place to make that, the small leads that they had kind of evaporate pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. Chances are non-zero, and hopefully CLGF have some other ideas that they can cook up for us in game 2. But we're going to go to the game show now. We still have a few minutes to spare. We're going to be playing what I like to call the price of victory. And it's going to be about items, and you're maybe able to start guessing how the math comes into play here. I basically picked the first item built. I did it for every player, but we're going to focus on the winning team. That's the idea here. And I'm basically going to ask you the cost of an item when you have certain components. It's going to get easier, and it's going to get hard, and then it will get harder.
You know who is really good at this game? Smacks.
Smacks, you know what?
Is really good at this game.
See, I'm not going to be as good at this game because I just know item A and B to C. There you go.
I know the base components. I think I know all of them.
That's what I said. Items A and B into C.
But I don't know. I just have 3 categories. It's either this item is cheap, which means it's usually less than 3,000. This item is 3,000, or this item is more than 3,000.
Well, let's hope
the only way it goes.
Let's hope you can iterate with yourself to really kind of narrow in on the answer here. So we're going to start with item 1, and we will start with Josh. So,
okay. Man, that's horrifying.
It
all right, hit me with it.
Stridebreaker was built by Moose Hater, and again, it's going to start off easy. So how much does Stridebreaker cost?
I actually do know that
components?
one. I do know that one. That one is 3,300.
No. When you have all the components.
Oh, what is the final cost?
Combined cost.
725.
No. Magical, you got a chance.
400.
Yes!
Am I right on the money, too?
You were literally... Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't give you the point otherwise.
Boom, baby, let's go!
Wow. Not who I expected to take point one, but
literally was calculating the prices, adding them up in my head while that was happening, and be like, okay, you have 400 gold left, so
There
let's go.
is some item in like that category that costs
There
725
are.
as a combined cost.
It's 80 carry items.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
that
okay.
one's 11,
those are
11, and 8.
625, I think.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I knew there was something because every item has a pickaxe on it, and it's a little bit weird because it's an 875 component. You know, it is what it is.
It is what it is. You'll get a chance. Alex, this one goes to you now. Gore Drinker with Iron Spike Whip. What's the combined
Only Iron
cost?
Spike?
Only Iron Spike.
Oh.
You only got 10 seconds.
Which is Iron Spike?
1100. I'll give you that.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes my job.
22.
Yes. Oh my
Boom,
god.
baby! Let's go! I got the math, I told you!
Oh god. All right. Well,
I did get a chance.
I know. Magical starting off hot, clearly, and this is only going to get more difficult. So we're moving to the mid lane. Well, I say more difficult. This one should be easier. Josh, Leandries, we saw it built by Soligo.
Mm-hmm.
How much is the combined cost when you already have Lost Chapter?
Pretty sure. So Lost Chapter is 1300.
Yes.
Leandries is either 3k or 3100. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's 3k. So I'm gonna say 1700.
No. Magical?
So you said Leandris when you have only
Lost Chapter.
Okay. $21.
No.
Oh.
No.
This one, no one gets it. I will say, Josh,
I was wrong both times.
Yeah, all Mage Mythics cost 3,200 with the exception of Rod of
32.
Ages.
Oh, God. That's 32. I don't know why I had it at 34.
You know, it happens to the best of us. You're thinking about 80 carries, maybe, and that kind of sets you up for the next item, which is going to be the Kraken Slayer.
I'm pretty sure I have 2 points.
You do have 2 points, yeah, if we could fix it. Because remember, he stole one from you as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's up?
All right. Josh, Kraken Slayer.
Kraken Slayer.
When you have Noon Quiver, combined cost.
Noon Quiver.
Go.
Noon Quiver is 1300.
Yes.
And then the 80 carry items are 34. So that would be 21. Yeah. 2100.
Yes, I wrote down the wrong answer, but you're right.
I'm like, it should be 21.
You are.
I'm like, it very much should be 21.
No, you're right. You're right.
Who did me dirty the other day?
I still have an extra point you haven't given me.
Oh yeah. If we could give Magical 1 point, please.
Oh, it was Steve. Steve did me dirty the other day with his stats, and he was looking at the wrong frickin' category.
No. It happens. Yeah. Okay, Magical.
All right.
This one is a tough one. So.
I swear.
Hey, Magical. It's you and Josh, not you versus production. You will never defeat production. We all accept this as on-air talent.
I will use this chalkboard.
You just gotta let that go, man.
Throw it through the computer.
That's gonna destroy your computer.
But it'll also destroy Cynthia's computer, so it's worth it.
You know what?
Trade.
You're right, Josh. I'll let him have that one. But Magical, last and
you sure you want me to go first and not Josh so he can try to tie it up?
No, I want you to go first because you might get it wrong, and this will give Josh time to calculate. So you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Radiant Virtue. That is what Duo King built. Yeah, I said that too when I saw what he built.
New items.
So, Radiant. What's the combined cost when you have 2 Ruby Crystals, a Null Magic Mantle, and Cloth Armor? I will give you 15 seconds for this one because.
So wait, hold on. Say it again. So
2 Ruby Crystals, Null Magic Mantle, Cloth Armor.
I think I have my answer. I think this is mostly a guess.
Oh, okay. Seconds.
1350.
Ooh, not quite. Oh. Josh, Could you tie this one up? If you do, I will think of a tiebreaker.
I am thinking that Radiant Virtue probably costs 3,000. And so those 3 components, you got 450 for the null magic, 300 for the cloth armor, and 400 for each of the ruby crystals, which is 1,550, which means that the combined cost should be 1,450.
Yeah,
okay, Josh. Look at that. We've tied it up.
I had it at 29 in my head. I had 29.
Yeah. That's the big thing there. If you remember the total cost of the item, that you can kind of work it out.
If you were wrong when you said that number, I was like, oh, well, it can't be 2,900 because that was like my first guess on how much it cost.
It was 29 that I had in my head, and so I calculated. That's why I was close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, a lot of the support items are just so cheap, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. And speaking of cheap, we have the tiebreaker. This is going to be for whoever wins the day's half shows, because remember, you guys are at 1 apiece now. Yeah, so this is for all the marbles. We're going to start with Josh.
Okay.
Oh, did I say this earlier? Actually,
No.
actually might have. So I'm gonna change what I was gonna ask.
Okay.
Instead, where is the sheet? Here we go. That's No, okay, I didn't say it. So, what is the cost? This is just full cost.
Oh.
Of Rod of Ages.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Full cost?
Full cost.
I think you actually did say that earlier. Because you
I
definitely said that it was... Or you said that it was
was
less than everything else.
Yes.
Which are normally 34? 32? 32. It was 32 before, and it's less than that. And Rod of Ages was always a cheap item. Ooh, it's either 28 or 29. We're gonna go cheap. We're gonna say it's 28.
I think that's it. Because I was literally.
Gosh, that's the answer.
Let's go.
No.
And the Game 5 victory. Josh, you are the winner of halftime shows for the day. And, I mean, how does it feel to just be better than Mad Magical in every conceivable way? I want to know real quick.
I'm gonna dab on him real quick a couple
You gotta.
times.
You're looking the wrong way, Magical.
I know. I'm looking at you.
Hey, man, you had a strong start. You don't look at me. I'm just here for the excitement.
But I'm gonna be straight. I have not built Rod of Ages since it was put back in the game. Like
me neither.
It's just not the item I built.
I have only built Rod of Ages.
Oh, man. I mean,
you didn't do it in the Udyr game.
No, I didn't because we were testing.
That would have been terrible. Jesus. Okay. Anyways, enough of that. We have our winner for the halftime shows for the day, and I hear draft is ready. So why don't you guys tell us who the winner is going to end up being for our last series of the day? Take it away, guys.
Well, we can't tell you who's going to win. The players have to decide that for themselves getting into our final game, as you called out, Beatdown. And you know what? I'll think of a good insult to get back at you when we get out of this game before we wrap up the show, just to stay even as we see.
Garen
finally, they listened to the Bun Goran. They took away Garen.
Well, that's a good first step, but now they also have to think about what happens if they play Zac, right? We saw that Warwick has been they no longer have to think about that because it's also been banned. CLG Faith really drastically changing up what their draft plan has been this time, and those are the two biggest things that we've seen Moose Hater play historically. They also have like a couple of pocket picks that are big counters that you don't generally just blind into things, like the Alawi was one of the exciting things that they did play into the Renekton. And Hanser actually played it quite well, but now the big question is going to be, you still have to give Moose Hater the R5, the last pick in the entire game, to counter whatever it is that Bajani wants to play, and they can kind of play whatever. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of things in scrims that we have not seen on stage thus far, so I wonder what the answer is going to end up being towards the end of the draft.
Maokai for NXI. I'm a bit surprised to see this, really, because with these two teams, I was expecting it to be more of those unique picks, trying to play their own style, really cement themselves in the league as they explore the meta further. But Maokai is just that powerful. He's really good, and you'd expect because Keel has either the Kindred or Udyr up, that would be an option they could go for. And it is going to end up being Kindred.
Yeah, Kindred comes through. We know this is a Keel classic. NXI did pilot it the last game and had some, some good moments and some moments where they got wildcarded. And so as Wildcard continues to look at how they're going to be playing this out, that's probably for Moose Hater, but it could be Saligo.
No, that's Udyr. That's Udyr top. Because Moose Hater can play this as well. In fact, I got to look at this. research I have. I think he played it once already this year.
Did he? I believe it. I remember being a relatively early pioneer of the Udyr top, and my first game I ever played on this champion was actually in a Clash game, and we won that game. I didn't feel like I did a whole lot, but it was kind of like playing old Mundo a little bit, because you would just like run around, except you had to slow all the time. And so now CLG Faith does need to figure out how they can beat this kind of stat check champion. A lot of times, one of the big things that you're going to have to really struggle with is you need to have something that can actually beat up on the Udyr while they're trying to wave clear. If you can hit them consistently then and just like out sustain your opponent, you will be strong. But this is also another way to beat it, is you just never let it get in range.
No, and it was against Team Liquid first. Moose Hater played it. It was up against Olaf, so Serdi played the Olaf into it, and they won that game. Going for just to make sure I get everything, it was a TP and Ghost. Right now, hovering over the Ignite Ghost. Will depend on what Bajani wants to play into it.
Yeah, and we see another Blitzcrank coming through for Duo King. No cow, unfortunately for everybody in Twitch chat, but it is still going to be a robot coming through. And so Wildcard, again, throwing a lot of wild things at CLG Faith, whereas Aaron's going to be playing their 4th game of Ezreal in a row coming out this time, and that does mean that they will have a lot of range to play with on the bottom side, but also currently the Draven is still available, and as soon as I say that, it's gone.
Yeah, right as you say it, it's gone. The Crocodile too, taken away from Bajani, something that I think possibly could battle against Moose Hater in this lane that would make it very difficult for the Udyr to pilot early days. So I expect to see maybe even another top lane ban, something that Moose Hater expects to be difficult for him, that Bajani possibly could play, because it will be a little bit until we actually know what that style is. Because I'll be honest, I don't really know what the counters to Udyr top are. I don't know about you, but it's just not something that I have off the top of my head.
A lot of the things that have historically been good into this kind of champion are things that will scale alongside it and don't mind trading farm, right? The Camille might be pretty decent. The Fiora would definitely make sense. And I wonder if there's any other like really strong scaling champions that Bajani has played in the past that really just trade farm really effectively with an Udyr and just scale up. I would not be surprised if Mundo was actually a pretty decent pick here, especially because you can just armor stack against this team so far.
Sivir, I think, would actually work well with having Udyr on your team. That movement speed, but Lens goes for Samira. Wow, now this is an aggressive bot lane.
Yeah, this is very aggressive coming out already, just because you are so aggressive with the Blitzcrank and the Samira. You try and get on top of them, and then you stay on top of them. We do see the Jax coming out from CLG Faith, which is not something that necessarily can just trade farm early on, because you're just going to get bullied really aggressively by this Udyr. And you'll also have kind of difficulties dealing with the Udyr later, because currently neither Maokai nor Jax want to be spending their time hitting the Udyr. They really need to be trying to deal with the Samira.
This is also one of the champions Bajani really does love to play, is Jax. Jax, Fiora are up there in the wheelhouse that he tends to play, even though we've seen a lot of success with Cassante in this season so far. Jax is something that's more of a legacy pick for Bay State Fisher College top laner. As Serenok goes for Victor, I'm actually a little curious on the Victor. I don't mind it too much with how low range a lot of the members of Wildcard are.
Yeah, I mean, you do a lot of damage and just try and prevent people from coming in. The one thing that you do have to be very careful of with this Victor is your laser... Well, yes, but you're also going to get blocked, by this Kassadin now.
Yeah.
And suddenly, we were saying that Wildcard, they always have scaling tools in their back pocket. This time it is Soligo on the Kassadin. It is very tough for the Victor to push around the Kassadin by themselves, especially when there's a Kindred, because this is a 2v2. That the Kindred and Kassadin can absolutely win, especially if they're going to be fighting in melee, especially if they turn on the Maokai early on, because the Maokai does not start the game tanky.
No, he doesn't. Going for Demonic Embrace first. Longer before you feel really like you're going to be that frontline tank for the team. The Wildcard have an ample opportunity in this early game to try to bully around, and they do have the scaling like you talked about. Even Udyr is a good scaler as the game progresses, but you look at CLG Faith, it's not like they don't have that scaling either. Ezreal, Victor, Maokai eventually will become tanky, and Jax for split push does help a lot with fixing some of those problems, so long as they couldn't hold the line early.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be one of the big things, right? If they can get Serenok a lead, if they get him some of those very crucial Victor bucks and get some of those slows online early in the game, then it will be much more difficult for Moose Hater to play just because of how focused they are on just running very quickly. Lens, on the other hand, presents an entirely different threat, where normally you're just worried about the Udyr, like, sliding on up into the DMs. Lens is just going to jump right through, skip that, and just start sending things directly to your house. That was a weird joke.
That was a weird one.
Yeah. But we're sticking by it.
I'll be honest, I wasn't sure where you were going with it most of the time. It was kind of like a roller coaster. As like last game. Last game was quite a roller coaster.
True. Segue.
Segue, and I'm kind of expecting this one to be similar. Wildcard are a team that play wildly, and CLG Faith, they are looking stronger as they're getting more comfortable with one another. From week to week, even from game to game. Aaron on his 4th Ezreal in a row. All of them in this weekend. That's a lot of poke they have into the spot lane against Samira and Blitzcrank. They just got to be so cautious. One good rocket grab from Duo King, and you're pretty much... this lane's just done.
Yeah, it is very tough. You do want to give a couple levels into Lens before you really start looking for all of these hooks, but still just getting some good damage, getting some good poke down early on. Oh no.
Oh, Moose Hater. Venturing by himself. Wait a minute, we've seen this one before.
We've seen this one before. Alright.
Alright, not quite, not quite. Moose Hater realizing you're just like, you know what? Fine. I don't want to really fight you that much. I'll just go to lane and make sure he can't do anything. That's pull from Duo King. As you called out, early levels, not really going to work out too well. Got to get at least, I'd say, 3 levels before you feel confident looking for those hooks.
Yeah. I mean, you really want to make sure that you can be aggressive. As look at this. Keel just going in very aggressive. They knew he was starting on this blue buff. I'm actually really surprised that Keel is going from red buff to his opponent's side of the map, because he knows that there's only, like, at most 2 camps here for them to actually take, and there's no mark on this. They always start on the Scuttle Crabs.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by that as well, especially because NXI is not going to be going towards that Grump for a long time. Probably by the time it will respawn.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of time being spent by Keel not in a place on the map where they can actually interact. And look at that damage coming out from Moose Hater, right? He didn't even interact. He just pressed R, he pressed R again, and it forced them back.
I love CL. So do I. So do I.
It's very good for the flavor additive.
What?
Is it salt?
Anyways. Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to think how to respond, so I'm just going to talk about the game. We're just going to go back. We're going to see what happened. Gil is going to be spotted out by NXI, and this is stuff we've been wanting to see from NXI, right?
Yeah.
Is try to see if he can put more pressure onto his opponents, look for these early plays, because this is what really got him noticed back in 2021 was how aggressive he could play and his playmaking capabilities early into the levels.
Yeah. And currently, I mean, doing a good job preventing Keel from picking up this first Scuttle Crab, picking up the first mark, will give them a little bit more control over the bottom side. And Keel will not be in a position to try and go for a counter gank, because NXI, I mean, he's just been chilling around and got a couple of saplings in the bushes, and instead going to be choosing to go back into their own jungle. Don't want to give too many opportunities for Keel to just take away all of his camps.
And that Glacial Storm, gonna be really annoying. There's a reason why we saw Insanity playing it mid lane, especially into certain matchups, because you can feel confident in doing so. It's a great wave player tool early into the levels. We got to try it out ourselves, and I'm not gonna lie, it was really easy to shove in every single wave.
Oh yeah, I mean, I started that game off with a kill and assist. It was very difficult for the Zoe to do much of anything, but so far, we're not seeing a whole lot of pressure coming out from either jungler, as we continue to see proxying coming through, and this might be the opportunity for these junglers to interact with each other for the first time, right? NXI is going towards the top half. Keel has the respawn timer for the Gromp, and is already here with Moose Hater proxying.
Still getting his first stack, too, on the top side, Scuttle Crab. NXI will be a level down to Keel after that. Taking out this ward. I'm looking to see how they can fight this around, because Serenok doesn't have very much mana, yet he's going to try to show up. Flash with the Twisted Advance, looking for Keel, even the flash with the Counter-Strike to make sure that he can't get anywhere. He'll be first blooded by top lane Bajani, but NXI the next one to fall. Salico doesn't have very much health either to fight
can win
this
this.
fight. Moosehater might be able to win this by himself. Look at how Bajani has to focus onto Saligo, meaning that Moosehater had all that time onto Serenok. Bajani now going to be the focus of a lot of this with the counter-strike getting stun, and they could turn this around. They do! They got Moosehater and a double kill early for Bajani.
And that's the synergy coming through from Serenok and Bajani. They've been played together for so long on Bay State and Fisher College. The double kill and double buffs going over to Bajani, suddenly really turning around how difficult this top lane was supposed to be.
And from where it was going to be difficult, now we got to see the benefits Bajani has after this play.
Yeah, and this crazy engage coming through from NXI saying, we are strong enough to actually do this. Even with Moosehater here first, we have Serenok on the way faster, and they just jump onto Keel, get both bits of crowd control down, and taking down the Kindred relatively early really kind of makes the difference here. But after that, I mean, Saligo is still not able to play. It's still Moosehater in a 1v2, and we're seeing just like how much effectiveness the Counter-Strike actually has in all these fights. Forcing both Saligo and Moosehater back means that Serenok can come back in for the last auto attack, and Bajani just bombs him on the head.
By the way, during that replay, there was a good hook by Duo King to get the kill on a sketch, which allowed Wildcard to take the first neutral objective, being Dragon. This is the problem we said that we set out with this bot lane, having Samira and Blitzcrank, is once you get a couple levels and all you have to do is land one hook and you are dead.
Yeah, and they get Sketch's flash out at the same time, cost of no summoner spells. We'll take another look at it this time.
By himself too.
Oh, did they see him go around the corner?
See, oh, the minions, minions. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what Sketch was thinking, right? It's like, oh, he's probably gone up to the dragon, but just as we were saying earlier, you can't just assume things. You still have to give your opponents that kind of respect. Like, oh, maybe they're going to make sure this actually crashes.
And I was wrong. I thought because of the play, Dragon was taking Keel, just had booked it immediately to make sure they could secure the first neutral objective. And with another stack on the line for Keel, wants to fight around the Scuttle Crab. Sligo should be there to protect, but Sketch is on the other side as well, scaring off Wildcard. A stack denied. The best thing you could do here early game into Kindred is make sure it takes as long as possible, as she is on 2 stacks right now.
Yeah, already trying to farm up, much more effectively than NXI on this Maokai, doing a pretty good job. These are, again, bunch of players, a couple of junglers who have been trying to prove that they belong at this Challenger League level for a long time, and NXI did it a while back. And Keel, has consistently done quite well when it actually comes to these Proving Grounds events, and showcasing that they are not somebody to be trifled with even now, as they are 9-4 throughout the course of this season.
Looking to compete with the top of the table still. If they can get this 2-0 against CLG Faith, we'll cement them up at the top. Here's Johnny getting ganked by Keel. Johnny trying to fight back, but the Glacial Storm doing a lot of damage. He can't counter-strike that one. Even with the ult that came in from Maokai, wasn't enough to help out.
The ult from Aaron just going wide there. Lots of ults committed to try and save out Bajani, but that is still going to be a kill, getting picked up for a Wildcard. And suddenly, it feels as though this top lane, which was so in favor of Bajani for a little while, is kind of back to a situation of parity, right? With all the gold going right back over to Wildcard and a huge wave being crashed, Bajani's going to miss out on a ton of golden experience.
Well, this lane, even if it was 2 kills early for Bajani to help him out with the lane, it's not like it's going to be any easier with those kills, right? Because Moosehater, the whole idea is not that you're going to auto-attack, you just use your empowered R to make sure you wave clear consistently. Counter-Strike does nothing against abilities like that.
True. So, Wildcard, they are now in a position of small power again, and Saligo is still this ticking time bomb that CLG will need to deal with. Whoa.
Oh, he is taking a lot of hurt from Serenok. Serenok's not making this lane any easier for Saligo. Normally, passing the first victory, you're going to get poked out early, but it's not going to be too bad. So props over to Serenok to try to make sure Saligo is taking longer for that ticking time bomb. That he's not going to immediately just eviscerate and roam around the map to get these early kills.
Getting enough Victor Bucks as well to get the laser online early definitely helps out quite a bit. As
this is the power. You had already used the empowered R, so that made it so that Bajani could go for that engage. Well, it's not up at, that they expected. It's just getting the trades back and forth, try to see if you can whittle down Moosehater's health bar so you can get him out of lane.
But look at this bottom lane, 3 plates.
Oh, no mana either.
No mana.
Waiting for the heal, just flashing in for the on knock-up to make sure they can guarantee the kill. Duo King, though, he's in a bad spot. Nice lands respite. Here comes the ultimate to try to chase them down. And they got to leave him out to dry. They had to trade 1-for-1. As top lane almost was Johnny winning a solo kill matchup.
Yeah, this is honestly an opportunity to potentially look for a dive here in just a sec. But remember, Moose Hater's got that big shield, can sustain quite a bit, but you don't have a chance!
Wow, no chance at all!
Dang, but Johnny just going in, great awareness, knowing that Moose Hater needs time to react, and you do not have time to react as soon as the flash comes through. No, okay. Whew.
He was fine. He got the leap strike. He held on to the leap strike. I think that's what got Moose Hater off guard. He was expecting the leap strike, counter strike in order to get the lockdown potential, not the flash-empowered auto attack.
Yeah, good stuff from Bajani as well, right? We've been asking for how people deal with Moose Hater, now taking off the iconic champions. Wildcard on the other side of the map, they still have some points of power, right? Remember, Lens and Duo King, each with a kill apiece, now trying to set up for this dragon. With total vision control, it's very difficult to walk into a Blitzcrank.
It is, but it does seem that Duo King Lens are backing up, trying to clear out the bot lane. Despite having that control earlier, Wildcard did see it once Keel had recalled. So even though Duo King and Lens are trying to contest this with Saligo on the side, they realize there isn't really much they can do since Keel's not there.
Yeah, they don't have a jungler, they don't have a smite available, and so Wildcard going to be giving back the dragon in this game. Much more even than we were expecting based off of that early skirmish.
And now they've even lane swapped here for the Faith. Sending up Victor to deal with Moose Hater might actually be a better matchup, if you think about it. Better wave clear for Serenok. So even though, like, look at the damage he's able to do to Moose Hater. He puts up a shield. He's getting him low each time, trying to scare him off from the wave. Not an easy time anymore. It was better when you had to deal with Jack, someone melee that you could use the Glacial Storm to try to punish.
Yeah, I mean, the wiggle is way easier. Hold on, heal.
Okay,
no
on the other side, wait, Keel, no ult. He died, but he was able to get one kill back, and here's NXI on the other side, looking to save the support. Keeping him alive, but that Rift Herald charge
here comes Bajani.
With Lens, getting a lot of that, and Bajani is here to save the day. The hero, they don't all wear capes, and sometimes they carry light posts as they look to take down Duo King, toppling an empire that was set down in the bot lane and getting all this gold for the top lane kingdom.
Wow, but Johnny becoming so strong in this game, Alex. 4-1-0. Already has that Divine Thunder at less than 12 minutes. Now just running around Moose Hater trying to find Serenok. Oh, the R runs out.
Tragedy.
Wow. Wow. What a tough break there coming out from Moose Hater. If he gets his that's almost definitely a kill as soon as you get on top of Serenok, or at least a flash.
Yeah,
now the teleport going to be coming out.
I think it would at least be flash, and Bajani going back to the top lane. Not going to chase down anymore. We'll send back Serenok into mid lane to wave clear against him. It's Bajani with the pickaxe, longsword as well. Moose Hater's realizing, okay, Jax is not fun. Well, it's fun to play, but not play against.
Yeah, that's definitely a big turnaround. So suddenly, I mean, that's how you can play through this game, right? We were talking about how effectively Johnny can be in the side lane. And you were saying this is how CLG Faith got their one win, was when Bajani got really strong.
He was allowed to side lane, got a lot of pressure for the team, and he has gotten a lot of resources this game to do just that. 4-1 on Jax. NXI is someone we focus on a lot, and he's also someone we have to kind of talk about with how this top side of the map can play around, because it's not like he's doing too bad. Of course, you're playing against a Kindred that has a near 1,000 gold lead on you, but you're keeping up in farm, you're looking to help out, build up your team, and even looking to play more around Bajani to continue this snowball to get out of control and become an avalanche.
Yeah, oof, that damage coming through, and you can see the healing that Moose Hater was doing for a little bit. But I kind of wanted to set up like this entire weekend because Wildcard has Super Week, right? 3 series in 3 days. Cloud9, CLG, and then CLG Faith. And this was supposed to be the easy one, right? Cloud9, CLG were two of the challenger teams that were supposed to be super strong. And just that one skirmish where Bajani gets so strong is a huge turnaround.
Pop the ult as well. Where's the counter-strike? Not counter-strike, leap strike. He decided not to go for it instead. Getting Moose Hater out of lane again as he had already TP'd back into the lane. Try to answer the wave push, and he's forced to stay there too, because Bajani would take the turret otherwise. Heel's hanging around, and here comes the bot lane. Duo King, good look for the pull. But we're getting to points where, remember back at the beginning of the day, it seems like such a long time ago, where Faisal on Olaf was able to 1v4. But Johnny's looking like he's getting close to that point too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's important to remember that with all the auto-attacking champions on Wildcard, you have to spread out. You cannot come in to any of the counter-strikes whenever they actually throw it out. So even pulling him in could be a big opportunity for CLG to just dogpile.
Oh, man.
Onto Duo King.
Sneaky.
Walks away.
But does he?
Oh.
He's still here. Thinks it's just Sligo, the flash in, and all that damage layered down, even with the counter-strike, it's not enough.
Sligo is going to be the one picking up the shutdown. They're going to be crashing a wave here. Is the tower low enough to actually pick up? Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
But with nobody coming around, Bajani doesn't have teleport.
Actually, might be taking now that Keel's recall had been stopped. Oh, I thought he would go to assist. Instead, they just want Sligo to get solo gold on this.
Yeah, I mean, good money going over to the Caston, right? That is going to be Wildcard's late game win condition.
Yeah, he's level 11.
Level 11, Unsealed Spellbook, 3 stacks already in the Rod of Ages. So much money already going right on over to the Cassidon. We have another dragon spawning, but as the middle of the map gets opened up for CLG, they are taking control over this bottom side of the river yet again, but Johnny's already on his way over. It looks like they're spoiling for a fight.
Waiting for that dragon. 5 seconds until it's up. Wildcard, the ones on the back foot around it. NXI might start it up as the rest of Faith push back the minions to make it much more difficult for Wildcard to try to contest.
Yeah, Moose Hater has to be so far back at this point. Yeah, they got the Demonic Embrace completed, so they do some damage, but they're going to be pretty squishy, and Wildcard not going to be walking in at all for this fight.
Smart
Instead, just going to be going, yeah, I mean, they have some scaling tools, right? We keep talking about casting every single time. You do have to be a little bit careful, right? As Serenok continues to scale, it's not as though this Victor scales poorly, it just scales poorly when interacting directly with the cast, and it actually scales pretty well against the rest of the team.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's really where, if you're Wildcard, you're hoping that it's just purely going to be the 1v1 matchup, the side lane between Sligo and Serenok. CLG Faith, the only one I think they really want on a side lane is going to be Bajani in the long term. Even though he has good scaling, he's good at team fighting with the rest of the squad as well. You can leave it up to a lot of the poke that's going to come through from CLG Faith with having Karma, Ezreal, and Victor to try to wave clear against the low range that Wildcard have, so long as you're keeping distance away from Duo King.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic 4-1 composition, right? You have a very strong split pusher, who's an okay team fighter. You have a bunch of poke, you have a bunch of wave clear in your 3 people that are on the bottom side, and you have an engaged tank in the jungle, right? This is exactly the formula you oftentimes look at in order to create powerful split pushers. And now, CLG Faith, they're slowly falling behind due to the fact that Wildcard is playing the map a little bit better, but the game hasn't broken open yet. Wildcard still need to find one of these big picks, and Duo King, while they've been doing a good job landing the hooks, needs to start creating a lot more extra pressure just based on the vision control to catch out CLG.
Also, CLG Faith playing a lot more respectfully this game. Sure, there have been a couple of plays like Bajani getting caught, or maybe Serenok here underneath his own turret, getting pulled back in, but the Chaos Storm, it's not been put down at all. Finally, will go down, getting the flash out of Keel, and here comes NXI on the other side, while Bajani was able to fight against Duo King, not getting to the side they needed to. Bajani getting a kill and getting some gold over to Serenok will help.
That is, I mean, that's a 1-for-1. But Serenok continues to build up those Victor blocks. Should have the slow online at this point. That's a whole lot of extra power going into the side of CLG Faith, especially when trying to deal with Moose Hater, who's just going with the boots of swiftness just to make sure that they can avoid some of these slows. Sligo!
Oh, Sligo jumps right into NXI, even with Rift Walk. It is Twisted Advance, but there's no damage backing it up. He's got heal, and the bigger thing is Bajani's like, no, I want turret.
I want turret. Me want structure. Me take structure. Bonk bonk. Legend of the bonk. Coming through. They will pick up another turret for themselves as we take another look at this last fight. I mean, this is just... There's not a lot to kind of look at here. It's just the stun into a guaranteed hook. And by the time that the ultimate comes out, Keel's already taken a couple of turret shots, and they have to leave Duo King for dead.
And like you had owed at the...
Yeah, it was close.
Barely going wide, too. It was very close. No cigar. Still a 1-for-1 trade. And while you get the kill onto Duo... Yeah, like, you killed Duo King, which isn't the most impactful person. At least you're making sure Bajani continues to get more and more gold. You're like 2,000 at this point ahead of Moose Hater.
Yeah. Wow, that's a huge lead off for in the side lane. And Saligo and Serenok are still pretty even. I mean, the biggest place where the advantage has appeared for Wildcard is for the jungler, but I mean, NXI, it's a Maokai, like, this is your comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were talking about NXI with the Maokai. As Maokai, yes.
As Maokai, yeah, this is the comfort zone, right? Like,
I was a little confused out for a second. I'm like, huh? Comfort zone for NXI? I'm like,
nah, not yet. But look at this. Saligo is coming down, right? Trying to potentially get the double split push. I wonder if they're strong enough to actually fight against the 2-item Bajani. Saligo, I think, just needs one more spell, and that will put him on the completed Seraphs. And as the much more veteran player, we've seen other people like Doxa, like Shochi, just kind of blind this champion earlier in the season and have a ton of success on it just because of how much pressure it puts onto teams, especially as you get towards level 16. Saligo, we're looking at the same kind of thing, but we don't think of Saligo as a strong flanking player. We think of Saligo as a strong mage player.
Mage, team fighter, engager, all those sort of styles really define how Saligo's career has been up to this moment. Playing Kassadin, you're like you said, it's much more about the flanks, but you are also Kassadin. You have a lot of opportunities to get in proper position, and that is something Saligo's always been good at. It's getting into proper positions.
Yeah.
And
I'm here early, though.
They are here a little too early. 30 seconds till they'll spawn up, getting some vision while Bajani has a flank angle. They don't care. As long as Duoking can get a beautiful hook onto, say, Aaron or Serenok, they can easily win this fight as Bajani still's hanging around the wings.
Yeah. Ooh, Duoking throwing out a hook, trying to find Bajani, who's potentially flanking early as well. Moose Hater's turning.
Trying to see if he can fight against him, but look at the damage that Bajani already did to Moose Hater, and even the ult from Maokai lands, so they could look for the fight afterwards. Once he gets a kill, the bonk is there. Saligo's not pulled the trigger to get in just yet, but Bajani sure the hell has, as he gets a stun flash with the counter-strike, forcing out the Rift Walk, and even though they have Lamb's Respite, they're all so low, and the Faith will be rewarded with that fight!
A huge fight coming out from CLG Faith. They pick off Moose Hater at the very beginning. There's no flanks coming in from Wildcard at all. And they say, screw the dragon, we're going to go play for the Baron. But Bajani finds Moose Hater. We were saying that people needed to mark Moose Hater. Moose Hater was trying to mark Bajani, but just gets blown up. And the rest of the fight, I mean, Saligo's not able to get in. You're not taking fights on your own terms. The engage isn't particularly strong. And suddenly, CLG, their battle lines, the Ezreal and the Victor just get to stand together. They do so much damage, and everybody ends up going down. I think Saligo's the only one who gets out.
Yeah, he is. He's the. Oh, does Duoking get out of there? Yeah, Duoking gets out of there too. Okay, so it's 2 members that get out, but still, it's a huge fight for CLG Faith. Baron now on their side. Items getting completed. Look at this. They're getting the 2-item spikes that are going to be so massive coming up in these next fights around Dragon.
Yeah. And look at Aaron's build as well, right? Skipping out on the tier, not going for the Muramon, and just going straight for the crit because
this
of the...
This has been an Aaron special this whole weekend.
They've done it a couple times, right? This is a huge opportunity for them to spike a little bit harder and, you know, play later on in the game because you aren't using all the mana. You rely on the Essence Reaver to give you that mana back. And now, as Saligo tries to get enough farm in the side lane in order to get access to that level 16, that huge win condition that Wildcard is relying on, we kind of go back to our previous point. Duoking has not been having the best game. They're not able to find these hooks. They're not able to create enough vision gaps to prey upon the members of CLG.
CLG marching down minions, a 4-1 setup. A little unorthodox since it was Serenok on the side lane, and now they even send more members to make sure they can escort more minions onto this tier 2. They have to have Bajani go back to base because Saligo was hoping for the YOLO backdoor that you'd sometimes go for. You had a fight that didn't go so well. Baron's on the other side. Even Kill, though, is sent down bot lane, hoping that they can fight against Bajani.
Yeah. And again, we have to reiterate how impressive it would be if CLG Faith were able to win this game, right? Wildcard has come off the back of going 3-1 against some of the best challenger teams we have in the league. They go up against a team that has only gotten 1 win so far, and if CLG Faith can actually close that out, it's a huge confidence boost. A huge props to the way that Bajani has actually played some of these early skirmishes, and also props to Aaron, because he's actually been playing really well so far in the past couple of games, trying to find these aggressive plays to jump on top of any member of Wildcard that comes too close.
Bajani, again, back into the mid lane. No unorthodox. 1-4. This time it's Jack's mid lane while the rest of the team looks to open up the base, take an inhibitor turret.
Oh, hook!
Onto Aaron, but he jumps back, and look at that ult from Maokai, rooting forever everybody as the turret already fell, and they got the kill on a Moose Hater. Kill has to flash over the wall as Saligo went in. He takes down Aaron. He's golden, but Bajani's the one you have to keep your eyes on consistently as he dives into the back line. Even with Lance Respite, it will save Saligo only for a little bit of time. Dashing over the wall, and Zeradok gets the kill.
Lens?
But Lens tries to see if he can be a hero. He's got the damage. Lens takes apart CLG Faith, or does he? Because Bajani dies. You always have to pay attention to him.
He's winning.
Bajani! Oh, Jax is massive.
A triple kill coming through. He's going to get the inhibitor, the only member of his team left alive after that crazy fight. But still, he stands tall. He is 9-2 at this point, and this all starts off from a crazy hook from Duo King, finding Aaron, and suddenly the fight just erupts. Everybody in the mid lane has to book it on over, and with Moose Hater already dead right off the bat, I thought this fight was over, but it's Keel who saves it. Keel who keeps it going at first, saves Saligo, and baits everybody back on into the Lamb's Respite. But after that, I mean, we were wondering, when was Lens going to make an appearance in this game? It's right now. Goes in, finally gets the big circle, is able to pick up Serenok, and able to grab Sketch on the same time. And looking at this 3v1, remember how we said everybody needs to split up, everybody needs to get out of dodge? Keel not able to get enough space because of the red buff, and goes down as Bajani just heals with the Divine Thunder afterwards.
Just jacks things late game. Bajani, like you said, 9-2. 3 items completed, even getting the shout out, the literal Thanos, the Fisher College top laner, showing up. If they pick up this win, the second win that CLG Faith are looking to gain, it would again be off the back of Bajani, while the rest of the team finds the pick onto Duo King, trying to dash away but missing the rock grab and dying to Serenok as Keel.
Here's Saligo.
With Saligo. Bajani's not there. That's the big problem that they have right now, is they don't have their carry, as they got Saligo to go golden with the Chaos Storm brewing. Dashing over. They found him. They got the pick, and here comes the king, Thanos himself, chasing down Wildcard, but they gotta wait for minions if they want to die this turn.
Oh my gosh, they tried to find it. They got Aaron, one of the big carries, but they forgot about Bajani, the second place Bay State top laner. They were so good together with Serenok last year, and now they're showing up yet again.
And I want to continue to sing the praises of Bajani.
Yeah.
When people talked about Bay State College last year during the CLL tournament, Bajani was not one of the members that everyone had been singing the praises of. Bajani was someone often left as a footnote in a lot of those games, kind of forgotten to the wayside. We've been seeing their growth here in the Challengers League. Again, this isn't a great start for any provisional team, for any team at 1-12. But when this team has found themselves in positions of power, even last game, a lot of that was off of the back of what Bajani was able to do in lane.
Yeah, and as long as they can get the leads, Bajani has shown that they do have the ability to actually carry some of these games, but now it is playing for the Mountain Soul. Saligo does have the blue buff, is level 16, does need to be the hero for Wildcard, but Bajani is this titan for them to try and play against as they line up. Duo King needs to find a clutch grab, Saligo needs to find a great flank, and already marked by Bajani can't interact one-on-one.
No, realizing that as well, even at level 16 as Cassidy, it's level 16 Jack, something just as difficult to contend against with the full-on NXI on the other side, using the blast code to get over the wall. Bajani wants to find the mark, he wants to find who he needs to kill, as Saligo went back over the wall. Bajani, he's still fighting in the middle of everyone, had to go golden. Lens, he could do it, but it's going to be on Keel this time around. Bajani's low, diving in, they've killed the beast, he's down. Bay State, they have lost the top laner, and they might have lost the game. Aaron can be a hero. Minions are pouring in still, and Aaron kiting back the best he can, but Keel takes him down, and it's gonna be an ace for Wildcard!
A triple kill goes over to Saligo, level 16, level 17 Wildcard turned towards the Baron as the base is slowly being flooded with these super minions. Oh my god, what a heartbreak this would be for the Faith, but still, what a crazy fight. It starts off, they hook NXI, and I thought that was surely going to be it, but Serenok goes down, Aaron goes down. We'll take another look at it right here. Look at where Saligo and Bajani are. They both try and find their way in. They both have to come in after the fight has already started. And both of them, like these two titans of the game, not able to get themselves in on it. And while Lens does a whole lot of damage, the big thing is Lens going down means that Bajani is left all on their own on the other side of the fight. And as soon as the fight breaks open, if Cassian is full HP, you damn well know that he's going to chase everybody down on the backside. CLG Faith have nothing left to fight the level 16 Cassian. Alex, you there? Uh-oh. Well, looks like we might have lost our co-caster at a crucial time. Welcome back.
Okay. I don't know what happened, but I think my mic I think my mic accidentally muted itself because I did not push any buttons.
All right. Well, is what it is. Glad to have you back, especially towards the end of this crazy game. Remember, Wildcard, they still have a lot of characters that have a lot of room left to grow. They're looking for Bajani on the side.
Bajani has NXI this time around with the Baron buff on Wildcard. 31 minutes in. It feels like this game's a lot later with how much has happened. We have 35 kills here. A kill a minute between these two squads. With the inhibitor having respawned, Wildcard no longer in danger of having their super minions pour back against them to give a little bit of respite for the Faith.
Yeah, and now, I mean, we're leaving Sligo off in a side lane or in the mid lane by themselves. Snare Knock gets a lot of damage down.
Yeah, but it's all healed up also by Moose Hater. Difficult to kill. As you can see, Bajani was looking for the fight against Lens, but he's got to be so careful.
Oh, the hook!
No longer like how it was before. It's no longer the game that you once thought it was. Wildcard have wrestled back the game and looked to crack open the base.
Oh no, not like this. Not like this, Alex. The Faithful were so close. They were so close to taking down Wildcard, and now their base is open. Aaron's dead for 30 seconds.
You can never underestimate Wildcard's ability to fight.
Oh, another one!
Coming in from Duo King with the Gravity Storm.
Lens
in the back line! Ripping apart the Faith! And they will not be rewarded. The deck's been stacked for Wildcard, and Bajani trying to be a hero, but it was too little, too damn late, and Wildcard take the 2-0.
They do this every time. It's so crazy. Wildcard continuously find themselves in fights in the late game where they can turn things around. They take one good fight where Bajani was just a little bit mispositioned, and that's all it takes for Wildcard to take them down. So Ligo goes huge. Duo King were criticizing because they weren't finding hooks. They find them in the 11th hour. Lens finally shows up as well, and Wildcard finally close it out 2-0. But I mean, if you are a Faith fan, this is a huge wake-up call to say, yes, we suddenly found a way to start finding wins. Bajani is going to be our ticket to climbing the ladder.
And with a tragic loss for the Faith, but a heroic win to pick up the sweep for Wildcard, we end off the day with nothing but 2-0s. But the day is not done. We still got an interview left ahead of us with Beatdown and Wildcard, so make sure you stick around.
Hello and welcome to week 2 of the NA Talent Update. OQs started this past week, so we had assistant coach get sit down with some of the people following OQs to go over some of the top talent that you should keep your eye on. Here it is.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the games. Can anybody help me out? What happened in the NACL qualifiers?
Coach, I know we normally like to draft talent from these top teams, but I think there's a star in the making on the number 10 seed. Yeah, I'm looking at Barrick, the 5-star top laner out of Mirage. I mean, this guy puts up results, plain and simple. He's beaten Golden Guardians Academy twice on 2 different teams in 2 straight years. I mean, that's no coincidence. And with his team against the ropes in an elimination game, he took matters into his own hands, picked up a penta on Gangplank.
Though, Paucus is alive. Arendelle jumping in, forgets that Xayah ult exists. Doesn't matter though. Holy f***, are they gonna win this? Please place a trap on Xayah. Oh my... Holy shit!
I mean, stats look great with intangibles through the roof. I mean, coach, we have to pick this guy up.
Okay, noted. What about over here?
The new player that Team Fish Taco just picked up, Dard. Nobody's ever heard of this guy. Just fresh off the ladder. Rank 1 on the ladder, by the way. Team Fish Taco, new jungler. played really well. That Kindred game was out of this world. And yeah, like I said, nobody's ever heard of this guy. He's completely new. Definitely look into him, though. Just, you know, you don't need to look at his Leaguepedia page. Just take my word for it. You're going to want him on your team.
This Dard player I'm going to keep my eyes on as a potential future prospect. Make sure to note that when I bring this information back to Cubby.
Thanks so much to Assistant Coach Kiss and especially those OQ folks helping us out. Now, on to the big booty of the week with Mad Magic.
Welcome back, Gilland lovers, to another fine edition to the booty of the week. Our swashbuckler hoon be finding themselves marooned on an isle with their matey. The black spot be given, and at the rope's end they tuck tail and run, about to be overhauled by the jackdaws. 'Tis only a matter of time before they feed the fish, or so hoon wants them to believe. 'Tis no lily-liver landlubber. They be an old salt of the high seed, will be a mighty brawl before they end up in Davy Jones' locker. Show these scallywags what for. Raise the Jolly Rogers for the mighty brethren fallen. Ah, shiver me timbers! The sea dog just cleaved evidence of the brisket. Give them no quarters, Beardy. Blow them all down and send them to the depths. Look at the cowardly swabs now, and remember this day as the day you almost caught Captain Dig Hoon. Aye, and yo ho, that's be it.
Passing up free booty is tough, but Copy did that and found real treasure as he took down 4 in our Raw Pog moment of the week.
The day. But something I do want to come back to is Breezy getting caught in the mid lane, not able to get locked down too heavily now. And the Nature's Grass coming back both ways. Robbie Bob needs to get out of there, has the perfect execution, does get out. No, he uses down the back end. Now we got the 2v3
Copy's not going to finish.
happening. Shaden goes back in. Copy goes in as well on the backside. Kevy flashes out, flashes and flashes and flashes.
Copy.
But it's Copy who comes out on top. Breezy's chasing him down. Copy one more. And a double kill for the mid laner. Robbie Bob goes back in. True shot barrage across the back.
Woo! Poggers.
And that's been it for us at the NA Talent Update Week 2. Special shout out to the OQ folks and everyone that helped me put together this episode. We'll see you Week 3, but until then, may your week be filled with positive gaming experiences.
Welcome back, everybody, for our last Verizon post-game interview of the day and the week. I got Duo King with me here, of course, part of the pretty insane comeback you guys made there for Wildcard, and I guess that's going to be the first question I want to ask you. I mean, first of all, congratulations, 2-0. You guys' record is still looking pretty stellar. I think you guys locked top 6, but I want to know what were the comms and everything like during that game, because I know you have Cassidon, I know you have a lot of scaling options, but it really looked like CLGF had you guys.
We were calm the whole time because we knew that, yeah, we had like the cast and win condition. We thought our comp was better, so like we can screw up early game and like make sacrifices, but just 5v5 team fight them and we should win. So no one was like panicking, or at least I wasn't. I don't know about everyone else.
Everyone appeared to not be panicking, so you know, close enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing, you kind of hinted at this actually when we were chatting just a minute ago, but we wanted to get into a little bit more of your identity. It seems like you guys have had that locked in pretty much from the jump, and it's been a part of how you guys have been, I mean, have had some great success so far. So you said you, Moose Hater, are the ones who kind of give a lot of these ideas, have these different thoughts of the game. So are you guys like very vocal when it comes to drafting strategies and things like that?
Basically draft is like, there's like meta champs and support on top, and then my teammates will be like, me and Moose, they'll say we should play them, and then me and Moose go, no, those champs suck. So we don't pick Asante, we don't pick like ADC support champs, and we go like, we think we know what's better, and so we pick it. Yeah, that's how draft goes.
Hey, fair enough. I mean, it's clearly been working for you guys so far. So one thing I also wanted to know was that you had the core, of course, but you included, of AoE Ginger Tumor from last year. Great run in Proving Grounds. We reference it all the time. So was it difficult to add Lens and Soligo to this core that you guys already had? It doesn't seem like it on the surface, but what was that experience like?
It was pretty simple, like kind of Shrimps and Wixie just kind of played like meta champs or like whatever we needed them to, and then Soligo Lens just do the same thing. So like in terms of the wacky picks, like identity of the team, it's all there still. So yeah, I mean, it was like kind of seamless. I don't know.
There's no problems whatsoever?
Yeah.
All right. What's your opinion on Lens in particular? I mean, you guys have been looking good overall. I've always thought Lens was a good player. How has it been laning with him?
It's been pretty good. Like, I've been subjecting him to like laning with Alistar at level 1 a lot, and like there's been some rough scrims because instead of handshaking bot lane matchups, like I'm trying to win lane or like find counters. So sometimes it's just a disaster, but yeah, like I think we have like a good like read or like idea on the meta right now. So
all right, so you guys some growing pains, but obviously that's what scrims are for: learning, ideating, iterating, things like that. Which, I mean, again, you guys have been doing pretty well for yourselves. I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen the results of the other stream, but I'm almost certain you guys have locked in top 6. And of course, everybody thinks they're going to do well, but I more specifically want to know, like, how has it been for you guys being one of the top teams, especially with so many people, and I mean so many people, not having the highest hopes for you?
Honestly, we have lost 2 games to TSM, and I think they're like 1-12 or something, and then like 1 game to TLF, who's also like bottom of the standings. So, like ideally we win those because we 2-0 C9. Like it doesn't really make sense, but yeah, like I'm pretty happy with like, I guess you could say proving everyone else wrong. Like I don't really care if people are like underrating our team. I don't know why they're doing it too, because we were like the highest placing amateur team in Proving Grounds, and then we kept a majority of the players. So I don't know how we can be like the worst team. Like that's crazy to me, but whatever.
Fair enough. And I mean, if you look at the top standings as well, like you mentioned it, you've taken 1, or in C9's case, 2 games off some of the top teams who are above you in the standings so far. So you guys are doing pretty good for yourself. I think the next thing that I want to know from you is next weekend you are playing, I believe it's Fly Fam and EGC. Any concerns going into that matchup? How do you feel like you're going to match up into EGC's bot lane in particular?
I only know their support is Smoothie. I won't lie, I don't really know or remember the rosters.
Fair.
But I mean, if we beat C9, we can probably beat everyone because I think they are the best team by far in NACL. So I'm not worried. Yeah, we'll just prepare draft like we always do.
Yeah, it makes sense. You would know Smoothie, another fellow Alistar player, right? And I guess that leads me into the last question. And you being known as like, your follower spam cow emotes all the time, everything, it's like part of the brand. What is the best Alistar skin? Objective, like hit me with it.
Well, I just always use the Moo Cow one because the chromas are funny, but I don't have a strong preference. Like they're like the skins or whatever, but yeah, I would say that is the best one by a bit.
Yeah, you like the cowbell and everything like that? You spam that? Do you spam the dance mode a lot? Be honest with me, you don't.
I actually don't. Well,
Really?
like sometimes maybe. No, okay. I like to just do emotes. Like I need to be moving around. I can't be standing still.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Understandable. Well, before I let you go, Duo King, are there any other shoutouts you want to make? Friends, family, teammates, whatever the case may be.
No.
Hey, fair enough, man. A few words. Thank you so much for taking the time, Duo King. See, you had nothing to be nervous about. You did fine. And that's going to be it for our Verizon post-game interview. Again, thank you, Duo King. And we're going to bring it back with the casters, Josh and Alex, Joshi and Mad Magical, to close out the stream. Hey, guys, welcome back. What's up?
Cowbell.
That's one of the funniest answers I think I've ever had.
Yeah, he said no.
Do you have any shout-outs? No. Not at all. We're done. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, it's a great thing to see. Really
Screw
quick
my teammates.
I mean, I'm sure they know where they stand. And speaking of stand, we got to take a look at the standings as we start to wrap it up here for the end of week 3. And it looks like I was right. Not only are Wildcard top 6, they're actually top 4 at the moment here at 10-4. And I mean, Josh, let's just talk about how the standings have really started to form here on the left side.
Yeah, I mean, we're really starting to shake out a little bit with some of the teams like really shooting up. There's a couple of expected ones there, right? Dignitas Challengers, Cloud9 Challengers, Team Liquid Challengers. Wildcard, I think Duo King had a really good point there where it's like, hey, we were the best amateur team last year and we've kept most of the same players. It's not super surprising that they are doing well still.
It's true. And I mean, at the end of the day, they were right. There's definitely a lot of vindication there And so far, it's culminated in them being top 4. Of course, maybe some teams will catch up as they work on their identity. It's clear that from what he said, that Moose Hater and Duo King have always had this very clear way of seeing the game, and it seems to have worked, especially with that addition of Saligo and Lens.
And I will say, I'm really curious to see how Wildcard will face, not next week, but the week after that, facing off against Dignitas Challengers, currently the #1 team in the standings, and then also FlyQuest Challengers that we got to see earlier today. I think that's when we're really going to see the test of the mettle for Wildcard and where we could accurately put them in the standings. Because right now, they are definitely a team that we have to consistently talk about being a great, solid team, especially their team fighting. But there were the hiccups, like Joking talked about the 2-0 that they suffered at the hands of TSM Challengers, who are towards the bottom of the standings right now, then almost dropping that second game to CLG Faith, who've only been able to pick up 1 victory so far.
That's right. It's definitely been an exciting weekend, an exciting 3 weeks of Challengers League here. And as I mean, we're wrapping it up now. That's going to be the end of...
Before you wrap it up,
all right.
I just want to say it's funny because we just got raided by the Challengers League, and we're also ending.
Hey, there you go. All the challengers, they get to watch the outro. And I mean, that's going to be it here for week 3 of Challengers League.
I'm pretty sure we're rating too. Just a quick shout out to twitch.tv/gamergirl. It's actually Tomio's sister as well. So
I love that. See, that's great. And there you go. With hopefully no more interruptions, we will be closing out officially Challengers League for the week. That's it for week 3 of North American Challengers League. It says thank the guest on the prompter, so thank you very much, Beatdown, for doing a good job, everything like that. Thank you very much, Magical and Joshi, for joining me as well. It's been a great day so far. We will be back next week, Saturday at 1 p.m. PST on both Path to LCS and twitch.tv/Challengers League. So we'll see you next week. Take care.
Thank you, Beatdown.